Oh, they come out.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us for this maybe 15-20 minutes. So we are under the final session of our National Conference of Technology Enthusiasts. So we had yesterday we had a session, day one session on cyber security with Garima Goyal, and unfortunately we had not had a second session due to technical issues from Ratik's side. And today we had the first session with Ananda Krishnan. Ananda Krishnan presented his viewpoints on being enthusiastic, as a coder or as a technology learner, how to be enthusiastic. And then we had Udayasri presenting her paper. And with this, we have in the final session today, this is with Mr. Don Cora Jacob. So please allow me to do a short outline about Don Cora Jacob. Don Cora Jacob is a Flutter developer. He's a Flutter developer, sorry, and he's an entrepreneur and a designer. He is an innovation incubator advisory member of Mar Basilius College of Engineering Technology at Trivandrum. He's an expert in doing things. He's in his studies, but still, he has a lot of enthusiasm in him. He is a founder of Flutter Trivandrum Group. It's an Android tech lead in, also he's one who have developed an application in this COVID crisis to find the exact data. So when I recognized Don is through LinkedIn, one of my good friend was sharing some interesting news about Don, and then I started what is this with this man, and then I just started going through his profile. An young boy who is very charm and is very active in looking at up things. Normally we have a situation like, so we have a tough situation like COVID, and we don't know how much of us are very active with this. Thinking of any preventive measures or thinking of any application that can develop. But Don, as a young boy, have developed an application to find the number of COVID affected persons, and it is one of the exclusive kind of application he have developed. So congratulations, Don, for that as well. And he's a very enthusiastic developer. It's a developer in Flutter application. So only after Don, and I was just checking across Don's profile and check Flutter application development, and then I just came across what is Flutter, and this. And I am not into CS background, but still I'm very eager to listen to Don as well. On behalf of Institution Innovation Council of MET Engineering College, MET Business Incubation Center, and on personal behalf of Lighting and Media Works, it's my privilege to welcome Don Cora Jacob to our virtual stage of National Youth Conclave 2020. Welcome, Don. Thank you for joining with us this day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your introduction. And can I start or just?
Don, can we wait for some 1 minute? So here you'll be presenting through a slide PPT something.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the privilege now. Yes. Now you can present. Yeah, we will start down. No issues. We are very much in time. We can start.
Okay. Okay. Starting off with Flutter. I don't know how many of you know what is Flutter. I will just introduce what is Flutter. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And starting, the Flutter is Google's UI framework developed by Google, and the stable release was in 2018. And this is software to develop both iOS and Android in same code base. So if it's cross-platform development, I will talk about it later in coming up slide. And I will just start off with a video uh, shown by introduced by Google. Okay, it's a just intro video of Flutter, and uh, talking it's a cross-platform development tool. So we could develop both iOS and Android application in same code base. Natively, we should develop a different code for to develop Android and a different code for using Swift or Objective C for iOS. It before Flutter, the Facebook's React Native was on play, and the Flutter was on dev stage over there that time. The React Native was developed by Facebook. It uses uses JavaScript for development, and okay. In native approach, as I told before, for developing an Android application, you should know either Java or Kotlin. The Java was the oldest way, and now Google is promoting Kotlin to be used. And for developing an iOS application, we use Swift or Objective C. And moving forward, the in cross-platform development and native development, there are both pros and cons, and some of them is in cross-platform. The development is fast. You could develop an application within it's simple, so it can be developed within 2 or 3 days for a small application. For an enterprise level application, could be developed in 2-3 months. And for a native application developer, it takes time. and uh, and the major plus point is you could develop a single code to run both iOS and Android. So you don't need to hire developers for Android and iOS. And but in later before this Flutter, there was many frameworks to develop cross platform, but they shows performance issues and uh, don't show any native look or feel. So it goes in the Flutter is trying to solve these issues. It's giving a cool native looks and feels when it's running on both platforms. In case of uh, native approach, we should hire more developers, and there's more funding issues. And it should for developing an animations on native code is little bit tough than animating a widget or container in Flutter is too easy. And moving forward, Flutter uses a coding language called Dart. It's optimized for UI development, and it's productive, and it performs fast on all platforms. So moving forward, these are the key features of Flutter. And and it's beautiful as you see in this GIF image. It can be more interactive and animative, so it shows a native feel, and it's fast, performs tasks faster, and show no lags are found in up to a limit. It's productive, and to develop application very faster, it's a key feature. I will what is productive I will show later on. Okay, it's open. The code of full development code and ID code is available on GitHub. It's open source. Anyone can get reference, and if even contribute to their community. Okay, it's a as I said, it's for high velocity development and for multiple platforms. And in Flutter, the core is developed in using C++, and the rendering engine is used is Skia. And um, Flutter uses different widgets. It's like a painting of widgets on a mobile device. It's simple to use. I will show, if there's a time, I will show how to develop this application for base, how it's simple, and how can we develop an application faster. um, as I said, it's used for high velocity development. Could develop a uh, enterprise level application in faster than native, and can be deployed in both iOS and Apple Store, and has flexible toolkits. Okay, I told you about high velocity development. The one of the key feature of Flutter is high velocity development. Uh, on older days, we should develop an application and should be restarted and reloaded the application to the mobile device to check whether the changes are occurred or not. And in case of Flutter, it's so simple. It's three times uh, productive games will be provided for developers. It helps to make the application more interactive. So just changing uh, widget, changing a container can be observed faster just by saving this. It uses a stateless state by upgrading feature, and uh, flexibility and control. It can be we can control every pixels in a mobile device in both iOS and Android. So we could give a cool native look and flow um, designs in applications. Okay, now Flutter is used by different companies. Google's these are the one of the major companies used Flutter. It's now many startups are focusing on Flutter, so it's easy to develop and with low cost, and can be develop high velocity production level application. These are the applications developed in Flutter. Google's AdWord and Google's Stadia is also developed using Flutter. Alibaba and many other tech giants are also using it. Okay, it gives a graphics, can be, it can hold a 60 frames per second graphics in Skia engine, so it's very smooth. And if the device supports to 120 frames per second refresh rate, it will also support it. Uh, okay, yeah, talking about Android development, it's not for this mobile only. It's for Both web and um, desktop application can be also developed in a same code base using one extension. This can be um, achieved using Flutter. So basic concept of Flutter is to develop applications for every devices which has display or can be can run Flutter. Actually, this Flutter is used by Google's new software called called Fuchsia. This Fuchsia is a coming up software for every devices, can be installed in any devices. Uh, so it uses Flutter to develop applications and interfaces. Now it's in beta stage, and some portion is available for open source development. Okay. Uh, Flutter uses different toolkits like Android Studio. You could develop if you love in developing in Visual Studio Code. You could also use Visual Studio Code using an extension of Flutter, and can be run in any platform like Android or iOS. Uh, you can use different material design elements for your applications, and also use Redux for data flow, and third party applications can be also supported by Flutter. Okay. Today the Flutter is one of the most growing language in LinkedIn, and millions of students and developers changed their track to Flutter because of this flexibility, and can develop in any devices like and uh, Android, iOS, a web or a desktop application. Both macOS and Windows applications can be developed in using Flutter. So it's the future uh, of development. So everyone is changing their track to Flutter, and we have rich ecosystem um, with 1000 plus repositories. Now it's actually the amount is of 6 months before, or 7 months before, and now it's one of twice or thrice. There are 1000 plus packages in available packages used in Flutter, and we have for 24,000 plus GitHub stars in GitHub repository, Flutter repo, and 500 plus applications in Play Store, and we also have applications in Apple Store. um, and we have many community open source communities, uh, and more support like Flutter India, Flutter. uh, Many communities are also available for developing Flutter, and to encourage developers to get support from others. And moving forward, to start off with, a Flutter could develop a Scratch application, or develop a application of your idea, like a prototype, and even can deploy it on Play Store. And you have many options, and many you could also try out the beta stage uh, web development using Flutter, and a desktop application using Flutter. Okay, these are the key Firebase is one of the main clouds are used by Flutter, and we could also use uh, AWS or the cloud service for high scale development for backend. Uh, for Many of them uses Firebase, so it's easy to integrate with Flutter. These are the useful links. Um, to learn Flutter, the best way available now is Flutter Docs, one of the best documentation uh, of a programming language is the Flutter's documentation. It's every single thing is documented in Flutter nicely, so anyone can study Flutter using this documentation. Uh, to get the flutter.dev docs, you go and check it out and just explore how it to install, even how to install and get started is available over here. And second most important link is Flutter Awesome package. In this README we have many links, so you could get any support or any features using and research about Flutter in this Flutter Awesome package. And moving forward, we have a Flutter community, Flutter official YouTube channel. In Flutter YouTube channel, every week they uploads a widget of the week. As I told you, Flutter works on widgets, wrapping of widgets. So every widget is covered in Flutter week, widget of the week, and also they have a boring show over there. As you don't know, if you don't know, the every developers, as you see in films, not code full time using, uh, and they research more, and even big coders also get errors. So in that, no one will show the errors over YouTube or not. They will show directly how to code in direct way. In boring show, it covers how to handle errors and how to check over the documentation, and it shows how to manage, how to develop an application. So it's a 1 hour event. You can choose if it get bored, give it up and check it out, this Flutter weekly widgets. And moving forward, the best course available and recommend Google recommended course is App Brewery's Flutter development course. And if you check their Twitter handle, um, 2 months before they posted a, a course for free. It's half of this course, a brewery's course. Could check if you are interested to learn Flutter. It's the best way. Just it's also available in Udemy. Yeah, breweries. Angela use course. And thank you. And I will show how to develop a Flutter application now. If you have any doubts, you could clear now, and I will just go forward developing Flutter. If there is any doubts,
Yes. So
tell me.
before we going in the next session, that is developing, and Don will be showing us how to develop a Flutter application. I request, like, if there are some questions, we can take it up of the chat box so that I can. Any quick questions in the chat box?
And you could also reach me on my email or GitHub. You could ping me on LinkedIn or Instagram. I will also support if there is any issues, and I will even connect with someone who knows that if I couldn't solve it. Okay, and how to, I will also tell how to research how to solve that problems. um, and you could also get reach me through these platforms. And if there any is there
So
any doubt?
any quick questions? We'll take some in chat box. So yes, Don, there is a one question.
Hmm.
Do this Flutter application is available in Play Store?
Yeah. Uh, Stadia, if you don't know, it's a gaming platform developed by Google. Its application is developed using Flutter, as well as this Alibaba's some part of Alibaba is done using Flutter. Google AdWords, AdSense account of Google application is developed using Flutter, and I also deployed 2 3 applications called Litsa, a meeting automating application, and there are many applications available in Play Store. Both iOS store is and it's also available in iOS.
Yeah, Dawn Sahabat also deployed some applications in iOS and also Play Store. So Dawn, like you can take the screenshot of Dawn's contact. We have his website, mail ID, GitHub, LinkedIn, Insta, and Twitter account. So you can track a note of it, and like you can get back if there are any specific doubt once you start applying with the Flutter application. So thank you, Dawn. We'll go ahead. Thank
Okay, to develop Flutter, I use Android Studio. You could also use Visual Studio Code, personal preferences, and I will start off with a new application. Mhm. To create, you should before starting Flutter, you could go and search Flutter. If you are interested in developing Flutter, you can get the docs, go to get started or get started, and how to install. For installing Flutter in Windows, go through this criteria. There is some system specifications, and for running Android Studio, there's some more system specification needed. Minimum 8 GB of RAM should be needed for running emulator. If you are not using emulator, you could run this on your phone, and you could go through this documentation to how to install and how to get started, and uh, just install the Flutter, then open Android Studio, start a new Flutter project and create new Flutter project, and just you could name anything. Just I am giving Flutter application the name. Okay, this package name is nothing but your domain dot Flutter name of your application. So you could track that your application that it's you used in both iOS store and Android store to identify applications. So it identifies whether this application belong to you, or uh, there are many same named application. So to track your application, we use that. Initially, they will generate some of the files to run Flutter, and we have a boilerplate code over here where there's a counter application running. I'll use a iOS simulator for running this application. You could use Android emulator. If you are using Windows, the development of deployment of iOS cannot be used.
Don, I request, like
Tell me,
there
tell
is
me.
a request. There is a request. Can you
Tell me.
start from the beginning? This Flutter
Okay,
application.
Flutter application. You
Right.
mean
How to
starting with application? How to
starting with
build
this
it?
Flutter application, right from Google search.
Okay,
From the Google
okay,
search.
okay. Um, First of all, you should download the Android Studio or Visual Studio Code. Okay, for downloading it, go to Android Studio, and There is Android Studio can be downloaded over here, and down if you are using Windows, they will show Windows download option, and it's you actually Android Studio can be and we should import the plugin for Flutter. Both in if you are using Visual Studio Code, uh, you should download Visual Studio and go to their website and download the Visual Studio. This both application is free, uh, not paid, and go to this extension and search for Flutter, and you get an extension. Now actually I installed it, okay, and just install this extension so you could use it in Visual Studio Code. um, since I am using Android Studio, I will show, uh, just download this, go through their documentation and just go. I will also share a YouTube video made by our DSC community. Okay, I will share this link. There we conducted a bootcamp on Flutter. You could learn Flutter from this bootcamp, how to install and how to start over. Just go to, okay, just publishing and everything is shown over there. I will share this link. Uh, okay, just go to this link. You could get that section, and just we sh- we teach how to develop a base first application to develop some of the applications using Flutter, just basics. And uh, if you find any issues, just ping me on Instagram or Twitter. Okay, it's and just um, connect your Flutter application. It is covered over first day course, how to install and how to configure Flutter and Git on your Android Studio, Android Studio. So just go to that link and just listen to the video. You could start your Flutter development over there, and I will show some of the development, how to develop. Oh, it won't finish today. So okay, uh, and just showing how, and just create new application. Oh, I will show. Okay, okay, just take after configuring it, just open your Android Studio. After configuring your Flutter, uh, installing Flutter in your Android Studio, you have a start of new Flutter project icon over here. Just go to it and start with a new application name, and go just fill this application name itself. And keep on going next, and just it will develop a boilerplate code, basic code of a Flutter application. And okay, and run. I am currently using iOS simulator. If you are using Windows, you should download Android devices, virtual devices, Android emulators, to run this application. Or you could connect your device and turn on your developer in your mobile device. Go to the settings, and in device info there, about phone, there's a portion where is the phone ID is serial number is printed, tab over there 10 times, the developer option will be enabled. Then connect your phone to your device so it can be run on your uh, real device. Okay, could also run using this Android emulator. I'm currently using iOS emulator. It means smooth. So and this is the boilerplate code, basic application developed by Google itself. If you create new application, automatically this application is be generated. It also default automatically generates the essential files for uh, Android for developing Flutter. It's a basic counter application. On clicking on this button, you could increment the value. Talking about this code, uh, this is in this file we have both Android and iOS portion, and the main file. If you have developed in web, you have we have index.html. It's like that file. It's a main file from where the program starts and ends. If you gone through even gone through this uh, even gone through a C++, we have main function. It's like that. The main file of the code is starting and ending from this main dot, and in this main dot, if the code generated in main dot is converted to iOS and Android automatically, and we could also take the Android itself and work. If we have Android application, you could also convert it to iOS using Flutter. And this is the boilerplate code. In talking about hot reload and hot restart, as I told you in the presentation, this is the one of the key feature. If you are developing an Android, a native Android or iOS, you should develop a feature and just reinstall and take a little bit time to install this application and see whether the simple changes is occurred or not. If there is a error, you should bug it out, and you should fix that bug and rectify this error. So it's been reduced using this, and I will just show you how it works. Okay, now just saving this code, you could increment by 2. Okay, 3 to 5, 7, 9. Okay, you could also change this color. um, I will change this color theme to red. If I change and just save, automatically this can be found over there. In case of normal development, you should reinstall and reload the application on your device to change find this change. It's little bit tough over there. So this is the basic boilerplate code, and to develop, I will just create new application. We uses material package, so we uses every material icons over there. So we use material packages to develop this, and uh, we have both stateless and stateful widgets. In stateless widget, if you don't know, say stateless widget is a widget when developed where there is no changes is been should be occurred. uh, like when we click, the UI change should be occurred over here, or same file, same page. So you should change this to stateful. If you don't need this, like this operations on your page, you could use stateless widget, um, and reduce your complexity. I will just use stateful widget and make. You could also name anything you needed over here. um, and change over here. So this is the basic stateful widget. In reloading this application, we could only find a blank screen since we only used a container. If you are giving a color to this container, the color of background color will be changed and should. But I am using a scaffold since scaffold uh, will provide us app bar and uh, other features like floating action button, app bar, and we have this app bar is a widget and a scaffold is also a widget. We are wrapping this app bar inside scaffold. It's like it's not like a wrapping of widgets, and we give a title. uh, it's also a widget, text widget, and uh, okay, I will give a several text, and I will wrap with the container with call child. I will give a color. Okay, color dot. And I have given a body and a app bar, and I could also give a floating action button. Okay, we also have floating action button. Media query. This. Mm, dot of context. Height. I assign this height to total height and width. Mm, okay, we should give a widget wrap with the material map. Um, I just started off with a material app. I will give us material app, so this issue will be solved. Okay, I will just copy out this scaffold. Okay, with scaffold. Dark theme. I'm using dark theme over here. Just restart this application. Mm, yeah, wait a second. I've cleared one file from this code, so it's that problem. I should maintain that. Mm, Okay, now it's cleared. Uh, we should need a different class for this widget. So that was a issue, and I will add that column, and now it's working. Then we could also add a icon over here and child. Okay, I added an icon over here. Add icon. Uh, I will for we should need a template over here. So I could develop a design like this. This was just basic application, how to develop a basic application. We have a um, class called app, and we have material app. Inside the home, we started off with this home screen, and this home screen contain a stateful widget, so we could use this state set state, and I could also develop the same thing we have seen over there, and I will make, or I could develop this one, this a template, what you wish. To develop um, uh, the same boilerplate code, or develop a different application UI. What do you prefer? Or else I could develop this UI design. Mm, what do you prefer, to develop the basic boilerplate template or the application UI? Mm, or else I could start with that application UI. Okay, we actually an application developer uses this Figma or other design tools, where the designers design the template and we copy the design to the actual application. So I will show how to manage that. Okay. Mm, I will clear this home, and we don't need an app bar over there. So I will start off with the uh, column column widget. Using this column widget, we will arrange this different widgets. Inside column we have children of widgets. So first widget will uh, show our top, and second will show our next line. So uh, I will add this my profile, and before my profile we need a icon called to search. And so I will search this icon. Okay, I will add this icon button. Okay, icon dot search, I also and the background color is could be seen using this background. I am using Figma over here. You could also use Adobe XD designs to convert or you could just blindly design a application UI. But I prefer to design a UI before developing, so that every pages could have a uniformity and same design. Um, and we have background color. I removed that amber and added a icon button. So then this is over here before the notch. To bring it over this under the notch, we could add a widget called safe area. So uh, it will avoid the obstructions like notes or punch holes on your phones. So it came down under the notch, and I will give a background color as you shown there. Background color of okay, this is our background color, and I will change this theme to dark, so the every text will be changed to white and pages will be changed to okay. Dark theme, I have changed it to dark theme, and we need a space between and this icon should be aligned on the right. So I will add a spacer. You could add a spacer, or you could use a align widget to arrange this. I will use row and use a spacer, so it will occupy the space, and now it goes there. And next line we need, and we could also take the size. We have a size of 24 pixels. Could add this size on the icon, size 24. Okay, I think same size 24. And next over the next line we need a my profile text over there. So I will add under the row we have text, and inside the data we have my profile. My profile, and we use a style to style this, or we on developing a design we go to a default a style. To change that we use a style text style option in this widget extension. So we could add this text styles, like on selecting this style we could get the font size, font and the color. So I am taking that font size font size and use this 34 pixels. Okay, 34 pixels, and we are using this color code and color. If you don't know, it's a hexagonal code used over here. So we use a different shade of white, and this should be aligned over right. So I will use a thing over here, column, cross axis element, start. Okay, but we need a padding of 14 pixels on every elements in this file. So I will add a padding, give a padding. Totally I will add padding over here, uh, symmetric horizontal 14. Okay, this and this gives a padding of 14 pixels. Then after this we need a image placer, and it should have a padding of 24 pixels. And we could add, I will remove this floating action button, it's not needed for our design. So next we use a size box to or you could also use this padding for next vision. I will use a size box and have 24 pixels height. And to arrange this, we need a container and to hold this image, and to hold we should do it in a row. So I will add a row children, uh, and we should need a container of height we 64 into 64. So we use 64 pixels, and the width 64, and inside we should give a decoration, and inside box decoration we should have a image to hold this image, decoration image. Okay, I am now using a network image. You could use a image from your asset or from a file. To get this image, I go to okay. This going to this URL, we could get that image. So I'll add this image and give a fit. Box fit cover. Okay, but the circular portion is not shown over here. So to get that, I will give a decoration of shape and circle, box shape or circle, and the circular shape is shown. And to add this text field, I could use um, text. This name over here. It may, when you are using it on production level, you should use this from the name, and data should be uh, taken from the network network. So the API is provided by your server. So I just for developing a template, I will use this. I will go for this, and we have a size of 18 pixels, and before that we should add in this bold uh, font weight should be added over here. My profile font weight should be bold, font weight dot bold. Okay, it changed to bold, and to add this I will wrap it in a container. So we could add two container, could wrap it in a column or container. I will just add column, then I will add the style. And if you like to contribute to this file, you could also do check my GitHub, go to my GitHub page, and you could just take an application. Now I am doing this e-commerce application UI. The title portion have been done and you could get this design over here, UI design link. On clicking this, you could get a Figma design link. Yeah, to clone this file to your device, just copy this hyperlink and add this clone uh, new version control git, and you could copy this URL and clone that, so you could get the same code over here, and it will be updated later on. This I have made the login screen and a home screen with this, and you could check that code, and if there is any doubt, just contact me. If I am going forward, if you won't finish, I will give you some tips how to get started, and just view my code. If you need this code, just fork, click on the fork, so you could fork this to your GitHub profile, and just you could also contribute to my application. Even COVID is also made open source COVID application. This is my COVID application. It's not available in Play Store, since uh, the COVID related application should have government or health departments uh, approval, so it's not available in Play Store. So you could go to my GitHub profile, github.com/donkjacob.com, or go to my um, portfolio, and over here you could reach every platform: LinkedIn, GitHub, Facebook, everything. And you could also read my blog, how I developed COVID application, and even the APIs I use is given over here. Using this API, I got that details, uh, updated details. So just go to it, and to get every code, you could go to my GitHub, and uh, for this application, current application, you could just go to e-commerce application UI, just star and fork. You could fork this to your code, so, and clone this to run it on your device. So you could design, and the basic uh, UIs and links are given over here. The cookbook link is over here. You could go to Flutter docs and search how this design and how every documentation is available over here. Everything, every widget is documented over here. And uh, I could also add that links, useful links over here. I will add it, and you could check this and try out. If you are interested, please contact me. I will help you out. um, and if there is any doubts, you could uh, ask now.
So thank you, Don. In fact, it was like a good, very good practical session, because normally uh, those trainers who used to take practical session, they won't be spending this much of time. But you repeated, you just taught how to do this. Really, if there are some CSE enthusiasts, they will be helpful. Okay, Madhumita has a question that, okay, Madhumita, like, I hope like you have Don's contact, you can get back to him. And so we have a YouTube link as well, Madhumita. I'll stop the stream and I will share you this YouTube link. Okay, so you can go across this YouTube link entirely. You can take your own time and you can listen to what the process is all about. So
Okay,
any
I will
question?
also add this in our in this readme, so you could